And that's why we don't do roadblocks, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why we don't do roadblocks. I don't know about the hopping from a motorcycle to a car to a car. Seems like there's a lot of room for error in those situations. The helicopter has the high ground. They'd be able to definitely easily take him out. All right, I've already digging the fact that that police car is like some awesome police car there. I don't think we have those type of cars. I think the closest we came to high-speed cars was the Ford GTO. Oh, that's going to be a bad day.
What are we doing here?
Sending a message.
Oh, obviously there's a little police corruption going on here. So I love about these games that show the grittiness of law enforcement. This is definitely Hollywood level stuff, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure somewhere there is some stuff that kind of might happen a little bit like this, but in today's day and age, there's just so much going on. Let me explain. This is well, they talked about the footage. Not only do you have to worry about the cameras, the dashboard cameras, the body cameras, but you got to also have the cameras that people have, cameras at businesses, cameras in intersections. I mean, I'll tell you something. We actually solved some crimes based upon the cameras that are available, not from the police standpoint, but from what the general public puts into service. There's just so much you got to explain. What you don't understand is that the paperwork in this, there's just a ton of stuff you got to explain. He did the pit maneuver. There's going to be paint transfer on that car. You're going to be able to tell that you collided with somebody. And then on top of it, you did a pit maneuver, and he's talking about, well, maybe he didn't survive. Yeah, your career is not going to survive as well. If you did something that caused major injury or death to a suspect, there's going to be an investigation. So there you go. So this is definitely 100% Hollywood. I love how she's just riding around in tight pants with a gun on her side. We are not bypassing the suspect. Okay, I've actually seen footage. I've actually watched YouTube videos of police chases on the educational point of view. We react to the suspect. If the suspect does X, we do Y. We're not going to get in front of them because there's just so many different things that he or she can do. They could ram us, they could slam on the brakes, make a quick left, and now I'm like bypassing them. So we're going to stay behind them at a distance, and hopefully they're going to eventually give up. A spike strip, helicopter gets overhead, and they're not getting away. Whatever that may be, but yeah, we're not pinning anybody at those speeds. We're not doing the pit at those speeds, nothing like that.
I got him down.
And that's why we don't pass police cars, or we don't pass a suspect. Ooh, I'm loving the Corvette police car. Unless this guy's a serial killer, the amount of damage that they have done, we're going to end this pursuit. We'll get him another day. We got to weigh life and property at this point in time. Does this crime constitute this much damage to first police cars? Is it worth the risk? He would not be able to do that with that car, push that car back. But if this was just like a GTA type of situation, they can go. Of course, we also know in real life by now, tires would be done, that type of stuff.
Control, requesting Air 1. We need them in the pursuit.
Yeah, air support would have probably been there a long time ago. I see the nice part about air support is air support would allow us to pull back, let the suspect go, and just monitor them. It gets a point in time when in the pursuit, does the risk outweigh getting this person into custody? And the patrol officer that is in the pursuit, as well as the supervisor, and then the watch commander who's monitoring the pursuit, any one of those three people can just end the pursuit because of safety to not only the officers, but safety to the general public. So those are a lot of factors that come into play, and that's why sometimes, too, we don't even pursue certain vehicles because it's just not worth it because of whatever particular time of the day. Ooh, I love these police cars. Anybody that watches my gameplay knows that I suck at driving any driving game, so this would not be one of the games that I would like to play because I'm just a horrible driver when it comes to these type of games. We are seeing a lot of uptake of street racing. I don't know if it was because of, the pandemic and the highways were really empty, because I remember going to work and the freeways just like being devoid of people. I was doing 75 miles an hour and cars were passing me like I was doing 5 miles an hour. So we've seen a really big uptake of street takeovers and racing. We would just do our best when it comes to that. I mean, we have Ford Explorers, Dodge, that type of stuff, but we don't really have any specialty cars that we can keep up with some of these cars that have been designed to race. Roadblocks are kind of a Hollywood thing these days. The reason why we wouldn't really do a roadblock is the simple fact that you're putting yourself in harm's way. You no guarantee the cars are going to stop and they could ram those patrol cars. Oh, the suspect gave out spike strips. Love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks like a great game to play, but I'm not a very strong driver when it comes to video games. I've been in a lot of pursuits. Probably one of the fastest was when we were doing about 120 miles an hour on the freeway chasing some jewelry robbery. They did a smash and grab, and we got the vehicle, so we chased them. At that time, it was a Crown Vic, the Ford Crown Vic, which is a really solid police car. The second probably fastest pursuit is when I was a motor officer on a motorcycle, and I was doing an upwards of 110 miles an hour chasing another motorcycle. So that's about the fastest I've ever gone. I think probably the fastest pursuit by far is maybe about 110, which is fast. I mean, you also realize when you're pursuing that one wrong move and you're dead, because at that speed, your car is gonna mangle and just get crushed. And if you seatbelt or no seatbelt, you're probably not going to survive it. Yeah, you got to figure too, these speeds that they're doing, these are like NASCAR speeds on a track, and even they have trouble maneuvering. You know, obviously they crash into walls and stuff like that. So doing 200 miles an hour, video game stuff. Not to mention all these curves. Oh my gosh. That's normally where most collisions or most pursuits will end, on windy highways, because of the apex of the turns and that type of stuff, the speeds, the inertia, all those type of things. That's where your cars will normally crash, both suspects and police cars. The best we ever did regarding having a special vehicle is when the California Highway Patrol started to use the Ford Mustang 5.0, which was a very fast car. So, but beyond that, I can't see any agencies that have really done anything super different, just because really high-speed pursuits are just so dangerous anyways. And we have helicopters these days, and we're not seeing these speeds like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some super fast cars out there, but All right, this is more like it. Here we go. Old school. I'm loving the old school look of this. And that's why we don't do roadblocks, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why we don't do roadblocks. Yeah, you're probably out of commission at this point in time. I love it. This is actually a scary scenario if you really think about it. It happened quite a few years ago, but there was an incident called Killdozer where this guy actually outfitted a bulldozer, and he ended up taking out a small town. He crushed a couple of police cars. In fact, the police chief's car he crushed. And this is one of the reasons why police departments have opted to buy large caliber guns, such as a 50 caliber rifle. A 50 caliber rifle with a sniper could take out the engine block of this vehicle. They're throwing everything at this thing. Now, the best you could hope for in this particular scenario is to blow the tires out. That the tires will eventually get chewed up by the damage from the damaged vehicle's metal. Oh, it has explosives or can shoot things. Loving it. There we go. That's what we can hope for. Oh, nope, it's still going. I just love the emphasis on the blown up cars. There'd be a lot of dead cops there. I can't tell what the goal of this game is destroy as many cop cars as you can or try to take out the semi-truck. There's a gun on top of this police car. Yeah, not realistic. There we go. His tires should be gone. You could see someone outfitting a car to do something like this, and that's the reason why you got to have different options to deal with situations. You just never know when someone's going to take a semi and make it into a tank. So it's kind of funny. We've actually talked about the EMP. It doesn't exist, not yet. It would be awesome. The best we could ever hope for is like the OnStars. I know there's a lot of different ones out there, but that's the one that comes to mind. If a car has some type of OnStar type of thing, we as law enforcement can get a hold of them and say, we need you to kill the engine on this car, and thus ending the pursuit. That's about the best we can do. But as far as, doing a pit maneuver, using spikes, or just letting the car run out of gas in these situations, sometimes that's why you see pursuits that go on for hours, just because there's nothing that we can do to stop the pursuit or end the pursuit. At this point in time, though, in this type of situation, if there was something that was realistic about this, we would just take I don't want to say a backseat approach, but we wouldn't put anything in front of it. We would follow it, maybe try to take out the tires, utilizing a helicopter with a sniper, but we're not going to really put anything in front of it. There's no reason to do that. It's because it's just going to keep going. I mean, eventually you got to realize this thing will run out of gas. And like I said, there's just weird situations. I want to say 15 years ago, someone stole a tank from a depot in San Diego, and they were driving down the freeway, crushing cars until the police were able to finally, like, I forget why it got disabled, but I think that one of the tracks came undone, and unfortunately they were able to get the hatch open and take out the suspect in that. But like I said, we had Killdozer, then we had the San Diego tank incident. So there are different things that have happened that kind of, these things mimic real life. I love that first person view. Yeah, that would be about it. Get off the road and keep yourself safe, and then follow this guy. I would think over time, though, that even this RAM would start to weaken and possibly come off with as many cars that are hitting it. Yeah, you can see at this point in time, too, this truck would have lost control, especially out here in that desert area. Now, I don't know how fun of a game it would be, but could you imagine if the developers actually took into account inertia, gravity, all this type of stuff to see if it would really truly survive? That would actually kind of be kind of cool. Like a true driver simulator. Honestly, at this point in time, I think you'd have some lieutenant getting a helicopter and ordering a sniper just to take them out. And trust me, there are snipers that can take that shot. Oh, there you go. A little Uncharted action, huh? Now, what I appreciate about the driving in this game is it's a little bit more realistic, because you can see that they kind of fishtail when going around corners too much. You run into stuff, so you kind of can appreciate the realism of this a little bit more. But I love how everyone's always a bad shot. And once again, man, these tires that these cars have, obviously we know the game takes place in another country, so the officers here would, I guess, be able to use lethal force to take them into custody. Oh, getting hits. I actually think a Jeep could, when it comes to a Jeep going up and down stairs like that, I would, with the proper tires, yeah, I think a Jeep can definitely do that. Some all-terrain type of vehicle. I've even seen a Ford Explorer go down some stairs. Not so much up, but definitely down some stairs. So a little bit of can happen, but then again, like I said, this is an actual chase where our good guys are trying to get away from the police, so I guess they're going to be able to use any means that they possibly can. and that's what I appreciate about the driving here, is that you got the car that's just not staying in control, that it's actually kind of fishtailing, that type of stuff.
I don't got this!
Yeah, I don't know about this part, though. Maybe just a little unrealistic. Just a little bit. But it does give you great gameplay. A lot of little Hollywood cliches here. Going through tunnels. Yeah. We also forget, though, too, not only have to deal with the tires, but you got a suspension issue. Got all these different things that actually could take out a vehicle. I mean, I've seen it happen with police cars where, the transmission drops, axle breaks. So different things do actually happen in real pursuits. Don't get me wrong, I love the game, but obviously just a bit tad. I always love in video games and in movies when we have the pursuit with guns being fired while people are in back of trains and horses and cars and that type of stuff. When you're standing still, there's some difficulty in sometimes even hitting the target, as opposed to moving around like this. And when you're talking about automatic weapons, automatic weapons automatically come up as you fire. That's why you have to have a good stance. You got to have that barrel into your, right into your shoulder here, and you're taking that, that push-pull technique. So these rounds would be going all over the place. They wouldn't be on target. You might be able to get lucky and get one or two on target, but yeah, that's there's a lot when it comes to automatic weapons and proficiently firing them. I love how they always blow up. Yes, this is one of the best chases in Uncharted. I do like this gameplay. You ever think about this? Is why don't they just stop driving and surround him? There's a concept, right? I don't know about the hopping from a motorcycle to a car to a car. Seems like there's a lot of room for error in those situations. I mean, good, don't get me wrong. Great gameplay, but yeah. God, this is great. Gotta love Trevor. I would just have to say it was chasing someone who was on a bicycle, and it's just like the reason why is just what they were doing. They were just going all over the place in our little downtown district, riding in and out of stuff, and that was about it. But I've never. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure. I mean, I know people have chased people on horses. On that type of stuff, but this is actually quite comical right here. And of course, if he's throwing bombs, we're just gonna take him out. We're just gonna either ram him with a patrol car or take a stance and shoot him from a distance. We're not gonna let him keep blowing things up. Oh, that's a far toss. Gotta love the accuracy of his throwing. Doing some damage. That'd be about it. They'd be ramming him left and right. You gotta figure too, that thing would only be maybe going, but maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, so they'd be able to keep up with them. But that'd be just a simple ram. Come up on him and ram him. The way they're ramming him with the cars, that would not work out for him right there. He would have been done. Oh, perfect. Oh no, he's gonna get out white. He's gonna go through that. Yeah, I love the accuracy of him being able to shoot up at a helicopter. A little bit more difficult than that. The helicopter has the high ground. They'd be able to definitely easily take him out. And like I said, today in law enforcement, our aero units are now, or have been, pretty much practicing or training to have a sniper on board and taking out a suspect in just in case we have a situation that calls for it, where we have to have the high ground. But then again, like I said, like I tell people, if they made games like real life, the game would be boring. So these game makers have to make it fun, or people aren't going to play their game. Oh, now he's going to get away. Because I think at 5 stars, the army comes for you. I think me personally, I've only gone up to 4 stars. All right, so who doesn't like a good police chase? I know I do, but realism versus gameplay, well, you guys all heard my comments during this, but hey, still a lot of fun to play. We know the game makers got to make a cool, fun game for all of us because nobody wants to play a boring video game. But anyways, hey, if you like this content, you're going to want to definitely follow Gamology on both their YouTube page and Facebook. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and put that bell icon for instant notification because you definitely want to know when episodes like this are dropping. As far as for me, ladies and gentlemen, come hop on over to my page over at YouTube, Chris the Cop, and you can actually watch me play video games like this. All right, until next time, this is Chris the Cop reminding all of you, peace. Right? It's so funny. It's like, well, you know, whenever I don't know what, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay, it looks weird. Okay, anyways, okay, cool, all right.